Today we are going to discuss about the what are the heat exchanger and so how it's useful in the industry. That one is heat exchanger. That one is what are the types of the heat exchanger and so what are the how they classified the heat exchanger. So that one is we are going to discuss in the today's classes. The heat exchanger, I think you see that one is in many of the cases, heat exchanger, they use that one is even that one, the boiler is also called as a heat exchanger. Evaporator is also called as what you saw in the refrigerator. Evaporator is also called as a heat exchanger. And what is that? Condenser is also called as a heat exchanger. That one. Okay. So condenser is also called as a heat exchanger here. And what is what is the meaning of the heat exchanger? Okay, what do you think about that one? Is a heat exchanger? That one is a. I think you saw about that one is a condenser. So also, you studied in the previous class. You studied about that one, a condenser, and what is called as a boiling. That one is okay. So, what is a boiling and what is a condenser? And also, we studied about the transient heat conduction and radiations. That one is heat exchanger. That's what is called as a that's the word itself indicates that exchange the heat from hot fluid to cold fluid. Understand? So exchange the heat from the hot fluid to cold fluid while moving or while stationary. That is called as a heat exchanger. Heat exchange, okay? Heat exchange is different. Heat exchanger is different, okay? So heat exchange means exchange of heat from hot fluid to cold fluid or between the two fluids is called as a heat exchange. Heat exchanger is a device or equipment used to exchange the heat from hot fluid to cold fluid is called as a heat exchanger. That one is okay. So this is the definitions of the heat exchanger. Suppose the one fluid, okay, one fluid, hot fluid is flowing in the one pipe, okay. So around that, the cold is fluid is also flowing, okay, around so around the okay. If the concentric pipe is there, inside the pipe, hot fluid is flowing. Outside the pipe, cold fluid is flowing. Then heat exchange from hot fluid to cold fluid is taking place. That is, so that equipment we can call as a heat exchanger also. Okay. For example, evaporator in the refrigerator or condenser or refrigeration itself is the heat exchanger or boiler or radiator. Okay, those like that. So many so heat exchangers you can observe that. If it is in the cooling system, okay, engine cooling system, okay, and many of the applications we can saw that one is called as a heat exchanger, recuperator, regenerator. So that's one is the types of the heat exchanger. Even the cooling tower which are in the use for the many industrial applications. Certainly, okay, cooling tower in the cement plant and or the cement the plant or in the thermal power plant. So that one is a cooling tower which are used. That one is act as a heat exchanger. That one is why that one is the cooling tower called as a heat exchanger because of the whatever that one is the exhaust gases which is flowing out of the chimney. Okay, that's a chimney. It is a very high temperature. So where if you leave that is a high temperature gases to the environment, it will affect the what is called as the environment temperature. Understand? So last that one is the we saw that what is called as the Visakhapatnam. That's the cases that one is okay. So this one is the high temperature that was the gases leakage to the what is called as the environment. What happens that one is okay. So like that. So this one is if the high temperature gases coming out of the chimney, it is very dangerous to the environment. It will affect the ozone layer. Hence, they will so spray the sprinkling system, sprinkling water sprinkling to the a cooling tower, top of the cooling tower, in order to reduces the temperature of the gases which is coming out of the chimney. So that's also called as a heat exchanger. That one is okay. So this is the what is the heat exchanger and what is the heat exchange. Okay, so heat exchange is nothing but the heat exchange from hot fluid to cold fluid is called as a heat exchanger. Okay, heat exchange. Heat exchanger is a device which transfer the heat from the hot fluid to the a cold fluid is called as a heat exchanger. That one is okay. So let's go to the what is called as the different classifications. In the today's classes, we are going to. So in the syllabus, as per your syllabus, that one is the uh, definition and classification of the heat exchanger. What is the long mean temperature difference, and what is the NTU method? NTU means number of transfer unit. Log mean temperature difference. That one is LMTD method. That one is so efficiency and effectiveness of the heat exchanger and Fouling factor and industrial applications of the heat exchanger. We look into all these objectives. That is, after the completion of this chapter, we could, the you peoples are come to know about that is what are the types of the heat exchanger and what is the classification of the heat exchanger, what is the NTU method, what is the LMTD method, okay, to calculate the exhaust temperature, so exit temperature or inlet temperature of the heat exchanger. So they use the log mean temperature difference and NTU method. So in order to calculate the effectiveness of the heat exchanger, they use that is called as a NTU method. NTU means that one is the number of transfer unit, okay, and how to calculate the effectiveness so of the heat exchangers. You come to know about that, and what is the Fouling factor. Fouling factor. So meaning of the Fouling factor, suppose in your house, utensil which is used for the heating the water or something that way, okay. So if you use that one is for the long term, okay, long time, 1 year to 2 months like that, some suit of white, okay, white that one is the coating will be formed on the surface of the plate or surface of the utensil, okay. It so obstructs, it is obstruct to the flow of the heat, or it obstructs to the transfer of heat that one is, okay. So this is called as a Fouling factor. The presence of Fouling factor decreases the heat transfer rate, okay. So that factor, so that is term also we are discussing in this chapter. And what are the industrial applications of the heat exchanger, we are going to study about that one. Okay, so next, today in the today's classes, we are going to discuss about that one is the definitions, classifications of the heat exchanger. What is the definition? Okay, so as I discussed in the previous slide, that heat exchanger may be defined as an equipment which transfer the energy from the fluid to one fluid, that is called as a hot fluid to the a cold fluid, with a maximum rate and minimum investment and running cost, that is, okay. So this is called as a heat exchanger, okay. Heat exchanger, simply it can be defined as a what is called as the exchange is an equipment which exchanges the heat from hot fluid to cold fluid, is nothing but that is called as a heat exchanger. In the heat exchanger, the temperature of the each fluid changes as it passes through the exchangers. Means certain is the length of the heat exchanger is 1 meter. At every section, the temperature of the fluid is going to be changes certain is. So we can calculate the at every section. So we can calculate the temperature also, or we can calculate the what is the inlet temperature of the heat exchanger, what is the outlet temperature of the heat exchanger. For example, evaporator is there. What is the inlet temperature of the evaporator and what is the outlet temperature of the evaporator? Using that temperature difference, we can calculate the what is called as the heat transfer. Same thing, it is a condenser also. What is the inlet temperature of the so fluid at the condenser? What is the outlet temperature of the condenser, that is? So then you can calculate the how much heat will be transferred. Okay, so evaporator, the sun is a evaporation will be taking place. Condenser, the condensing will be taking place, means converting vapor to liquid, liquid to vapor in the both the equipment, that is. I think you know in the coil, that one is a boiling and condensation. Okay, so that is a, and hence the temperature of the dividing wall. Okay, if the dividing wall means that the heat exchanger, one in the one section the hot fluid is flowing, and other section that one is the so cold fluid will be flowing, that one is okay. The means that the hot fluid and cold fluid divided by the wall, that is called as a dividing wall, but in the fluids also changes along the length of the heat exchanger here, that one is okay. Next, what are the examples? Okay, examples of the heat exchanger. Okay, so examples, first one is intercoolers and preheaters. So we are using that one is the intercooler. In the FM lab, I saw that one is, I think in the FM lab, I explained that one is the intercooler. Intercooler is between the low pressure cylinder and high pressure cylinder. So while doing the compressor, okay, compressor experiment, I showed that one is the purpose of the intercooler to enhance the efficiency of the what is called as a turbo machiners. Okay, so intercooler in the compressor also, compressor is a turbo machinery. Okay, so they are using that means because of there will be a high temperature. The fluid which is coming from the low pressure cylinder, which is having a high temperature, in order to reduce that one is the temperature, uh, temperature of the fluid, they're using the intercooler between the low pressure cylinder and a high pressure cylinder, that is okay, to enhance the efficiency of the machine certain. Preheater. Preheater, they're using that one is the, suppose that one is in the IC engine, whatever the air which is not a high temperature for the combustion, okay, the enough temperature for the combustion, in that cases they use the a preheater, okay, heat exchanger as a preheater, and increases the temperature of the fluid at the inlet and sent to the IC engine. Okay, so in that cases also they are using. Second example that one is the condenser and boilers in the steam plant. Okay, condenser. What is the condenser? It condenses. Okay, condenser means converting the vapor into the liquid. Okay, so evaporator, whatever the heat is taking in the evaporator, okay, heat is whatever that one is the heat is absorbed, okay, from the perishable items, from the that one is which is kept in the refrigerator. Okay, so that's liquid is converted into the a vapor, means that one is called as a latent heat. HFG is called as a latent heat, understand? So that's latent heat, so that is in the evaporator, and that latent heat afterwards is condenses in the condenser, means converted into the liquid again. Okay, and boilers in the steam plant. Okay, so boilers also called as a heat exchanger. Condenser is also called as a heat exchanger. Okay, then condensers and evaporators in the refrigerator units, as we discussed that one is a condenser and evaporator is also called as a heat exchanger, okay, which is used in the refrigeration. Okay, so condenser not only used in the refrigeration, in many of the industrial applications they use the condenser. Okay, and regenerators. So what is the meaning of the regenerators? Okay, we'll discuss about that one. Is the regenerators means the cooling tower, also that one is a direct heat exchanging, understand? Okay, so in this case the both the fluid will be mixed. Okay, so regenerators, cooling towers, in the cooling towers also so act as a heat exchanger, that is called as a regenerators. And automobile radiators, so what the radiators use in the vehicles. Okay, so they are, so automobile radiators also called as a heat exchanger. Okay, so in that case also the applications of the heat exchangers will be occurred. So what happens that one is the cooling water, okay, which is circulated around the cylinder, and it will take the heat from the what is called as the uh, engine, and so that one is radiate to the outside environment. Again, it is cool again back to the cylinder. That is the function of the radiator. This radiator is also called as a heat exchanger. Automobile radiators, oil coolers and oil coolers of the heat engine. Many of the heat engine, understand? So many of the heat engines, most probably that one is the cooling, means that one is air cooling, oil cooling, and water cooling. That is many of the heat engines they are using the oil cooling also. That one is instead of water they are using the oil. Instead of the air, they are using the oil, that is, okay. So that's to cool the engine, because of the engine is not cope up with the high temperature. In that case, this is necessary to cool the heat engine. In that cases, the oil cooling is the most important thing, okay, is the efficient one to cool the heat engine. That one. So in that cases, the oil coolers act as a heat exchanger for the heat engine, okay. And next one is called as a milk chiller, okay, milk chiller, okay. So milk chiller means that one is the most of the, that one is the even in the all the milk parlor they're using, okay, as of pasteurizing the plant, that one is, okay. Milk, that one dairy also they are using, okay, that one is the milk chiller, is also called as a heat exchanger, okay, to keep the at a required temperature of the milk, okay. So that's used as a heat exchanger, okay. Milk chiller used as a heat exchanger in the plant, so milk plant, that one is. And several other industrial process also, that one is even air conditioner, okay. Air conditioner also called as a heat exchanger. So that's a conditioning the air in the room or in the outside the so environment, that will, okay. So the comfortable environment gives a comfortable environment for the industry. So that's act as a air cooler, act as a heat exchanger in the industrial processes. Apart from this, we have so studied and come across any so more number of the applications of the heat exchanger. Just I given the few examples of the heat exchangers, okay. So these are the so examples of the heat exchangers here, that is, okay. Next one, so we discuss about that one is the classifications of the heat exchanger, okay. So what are the classifications of the heat exchanger? So before going to that one is, so how the heat exchanger can be classified, okay. Suppose that one is an ICE engine, how they classify, for example, based on the fuel used, based on the head, based on the so two stroke or four stroke, that one is they classified like that. The classifications of the heat exchange is also this based on the nature of heat exchanging process. And second one is called as so relative direction of the fluid motion, relative direction of the fluid motion. And third one is called as design and construction features, design and construction features. And fourth one is called as physical state of the fluid, physical state of the fluid, that one, okay. First one, nature of the heat exchange process. Okay, so classification. They may ask the questions that one is the classified the heat exchanger. So you have to write that one is the heat exchanger can be classified based on the nature of the heat exchanger process. That is called as a direct contact heat exchange and indirect contact heat exchanger. Based on the relative directions of the fluid motion, so parallel flow heat exchanger, counter flow heat exchanger, and cross flow heat exchanger. And based on the design and construction features, so concentrate tube heat exchangers, and shell and tube heat exchangers, and what is called as a multiple shell and tube passes heat exchanger. Or next one, we can fourth on, we are not added here. There's a compact heat exchanger is also called as a come under the design and construction features. And fourth one is called as the physical state of the fluids. Physical state of the fluid, based on the physical state of the fluids, so heat exchanger can be classified as a condenser and evaporator here, okay. So like that, so classifications of the so the heat exchanger can be done based on the all these things what we discussed that. Then we're going to discuss about that. First one is nature of heat exchanging process. Nature of heat exchanging process, that is called as direct contact heat exchanger and indirect contact heat exchanger. So what is the direct contact heat exchanger? What is the indirect contact heat exchanger? Suppose that one is here, what we discussed that one is side is steam is flowing, so, and other one is called as the cold water is flowing, that one is, and exit here, that one is the hot water, and that one is called as a non-condensable gases. Direct contact heat exchanger, suppose in the cooling tower, okay, cooling tower, gas will be come out from the cooling tower. And on the top of the cooling tower, so that they will spray the, or they spray the water, okay, to cool the air, whatever the gases which is coming out from the plant, okay, coming out of the chimney, that one is. Why? Because of the high temperature, okay, because of the high temperature. So that one is, it will affect the environment, understand? So in order to avoid that one is the temperature, high temperature, that is to raise the high temperature, the cooling of the gases will be taking place. So that is correct. In that cases, the cold water and the gases will be mixing each other. Understand? Mixing each other. Okay. So cold water will be flowing from the top. Understand? And gas will be moving up. There will be mixing of the fluid. Understand? So then cooling will be taking place. Okay, the gas will cool to the lower temperature and then will be come out from the chimney, okay, or cooling tower. So that is the case of the direct contact heat exchanger. In the example here, the what is called is cold water is flowing here and steam is flowing here. That one is, whatever that one is, steam is having a high temperature. Understand? It will be cooled by the cold water. After that one is hot water will be flowing from this side, and non-condensable gases. The gases are remain non-condensed. Okay, okay, remains. So that one is non-condensed. It will be going. Okay, if the cooling tower, taking the example of that one is, so that is after the cooling, whatever the gases which will be coming from the cooling tower, so that is called as a non-condensable gases, that it will be coming out of that one. So whatever that is a hot water, okay, you are spraying the hot water from the top side, understand? Then it will be coming down, okay, due to the density that is, it will be coming down, okay? So that hot water will be coming out from this side, okay? This is the container. This is just to be taken for the example, okay? So this is the direct contact heat exchanger, that is, okay? So the example, so of the direct contact heat exchanger here, that is the cooling towers, okay? Then jet condenser. In the jet condenser also, that one is a direct contact heat exchanger will be taking place. So that's also we can give the example. And direct contact feed heaters also an example. Direct contact feed heaters also an example of, so is a direct contact heat exchanger, that is, okay. Next one is indirect contact heat exchanger. What is called as an indirect contact heat exchanger? Means the meaning of the indirect contact heat exchanger, there will be a wall between the cold and hot water. Understand? So if it is the wall, okay, if it is the wall here, here in this side, one fluid will be flowing, hot water will be flowing, or hot fluid will be flowing. In this side, okay, in this side, cold, so that one is the water or cold fluid will be flowing, that one is. Heat exchange through this wall. Understand? Heat exchange from hot fluid to cold fluid through this wall, that is called as a indirect contact heat exchanger. Understand? It's a many type. Okay, indirect contact heat exchanger. So many type, that one is. So in that cases, regenerator. Understand? Regenerator is one example, and recuperators. Okay, recuperators is the another example. That one. Then, so these are regenerators and recuperators are called as the indirect heat exchanger. That one. Then, what is the meaning of the regenerators? What is the meaning of the recuperators? We will discuss that one is, okay. Then regenerator. So what we discuss that one is the IC engine and gas turbines, that one is, okay. So whatever the cooling system, okay, for the IC engine and what is called as the gas turbines. So that is called as a regenerator. So regenerator means that one is the, so one side that one is that what is called as a hot water is flowing, and this side is called as the cold water is flowing. That means in between there is a wall. Understand? In a regenerator type of heat exchanger, the hot and cold fluid passes alternately through the space containing the solid particles. Okay? here solid particles, or that one is called as a matrix, or we can call that one as a matrix. Okay, so suppose it is a matrix. Okay, particles. Okay, so particle matrix means that one is uh, we've taken that one is a porous media. Okay, porous media, wall of the wall which is a porous media. Understand? Okay, it is containing of the a matrix, that one is a solid particles are that one. In this side the hot water is flowing, and in this side cold water is flowing, that is. If the first hot water is flowing, okay, first hot water is flowing, then it will, this matrix will extract the hot water. Understand? Extract the hot water. And after that one, if the cold water is flowing this side, understand? So if the cold water is flowing this side, then whatever the heat extracted while hot water flowing by this matrix will transfer the heat to the cold water. Understand? To is transfer the heat to the cold water. So that is called as a regenerator, that term is. Understand? Okay. So regenerator. So in a regenerator type of the heat exchanger, the hot and cold fluids pass alternatively through the space containing the solid particles matrix. Understand? So these particles providing the alternatively sink and source for the heat flow. At the end, okay, sinks and so that one is the source will be providing that one is, okay. I think you know that one is the what is the sink and what is the source in the thermodynamics, that one is, okay. So this is the regenerator, okay. Regenerator, example of the regenerators is the ice engine and gas turbine, open hearth, okay, open hearth furnace, I think you saw that one is, and glass melting furnaces. Glass melting furnaces are the example of the regenerators. Air heaters of blast furnace, okay. Here you can see that one is the air heaters. Air heaters in the blast furnace so act as a regenerators in the what is called as is regenerator is also called as an indirect contact heat exchanger. Okay, so I think you understand the what is the concept of the regenerator. Certain is here you see that one is the bigger regenerators. So sub regenerators. Okay, these are called as the regenerators here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all called as a regenerators here. That is. So this is the cooler, and this one is the a cold piston. Okay, this is called as a cold piston, and this one is called as a hot piston here. Okay, so this is called as a heater, and this one is called as a cooler here. So if it is moving, or if it is moving here, that one is the heat transfer from the this is the hot piston. Okay, hot pistons to the regenerator. Heat transfer from the hot piston to the regenerator. And again, it will be moved back. Then, so whenever that hot piston is moved back, okay, then cold piston, okay, cold piston will be come in contact with the regenerator, and it will transfer the heat, okay, which is transfer the heat which is extracted from the hot piston to the a cold piston here. Understand? So this is the, I think it's a good example here, that is, so that is the heat transfer from the hot piston to the cold piston to the regenerator. So it is a case of that one is called as the IC engine they are using that one. Okay. So in the cooling system. Okay. So I will explain once again that one is, this is the hot piston and this one is the cold piston. These are called as the regenerator or sub regenerators here, that one is. First, that one is a hot piston come into contact with the regenerator and heat transfer from the hot piston to the regenerator here. Then afterwards, it will be moving back again. Then the cold piston will be coming and contact with the air regenerators. Then heat transfer from the regenerator, which is extracted from the hot piston to the air to the cold piston. Certain is transfer to the cold piston. So this is the concept of the regenerator here. That is okay. So then, what is the recuperator? Recuperator, sir. Okay, recuperators is the most important type of the heat exchanger in which the flowing fluids exchange. Okay, flowing fluids. So important the word that is flowing fluid. he exchange the heat or on either side of dividing wall, on either side of the dividing wall, okay, in the form of pipes or tubes generally, in the form of pipes or tubes generally. These heat exchangers are used when two fluids cannot allow to mix each other. Suppose that the heat exchanging is not possible, okay, it is not possible. Some of the chemicals, okay, hot chemicals certain is the which having a high temperature chemicals and which having a low so temperature chemicals certain is, it is not possible to mix certain is to transfer the heat. Understand? In that cases, so they use the recuperators. Understand? Recuperators, they are using that is to transfer the heat from so one chemical to the another chemical. Hot fluid, so that is a, we can call that as a fluid. Hot chemicals to the so cold chemical, that means they are using that one. Okay, so this is the desired case. When it is desired, that one is whenever that one is there, it is not possible to mix the any of the fluids. In that cases, recuperators use to transfer the heat from the hot fluid to the a cold fluid. So that is called as a recuperators. Why? There is a wall is there. Okay, there is a wall in between the hot fluid and cold fluid. So this wall acts as a heat transfer medium that one is. Okay, so that what is the type of the wall that it is? Okay, pipes. Okay, pipes also. Okay, in the form of the pipes or tubes generally, these heat exchanger are used when the two fluids cannot be allowed to mix, when the mixing is undesirable. When the mixing is undesirable, it may take the chemical reaction also. It may take the chemical reaction when they mix each other. So in that cases, the recuperators are used that one. Okay. So in case of the automobile radiators, understand? Automobile radiator act as a recuperator. Understand? Okay. So that's a cooling. That's a fluid which is coming from the so what is called as a cylinder. Understand? Okay. It will be flow through the radiator, and it will so that is the radiator will exchange the heat to the outside environment. Understand? Outside environment. Again, that one is the going to, so that's after cooling, again it is going to the a engine for cooling purposes. So that one is the radiator act as a recuperator here. Okay, so I saw that one is the a different of the recuperator. Air cooler, intercooler. Okay, intercooler. So that's what is the intercooler acts. Intercooler means that outside the environment is there. Okay, it will cool with the outside environment, and what is called as the fluid which is flowing inside the pipe, it is entirely different, and it will cool. Air intercooler called as an air cooler. Understand? Air cooler. So that is the we can call that one as a recuperator here. Okay, oil cooler, intercooler, air preheaters, economizer which is used in the boiler. Okay, so in the power plant, they are also called as a recuperates. That one is superheaters. Superheaters to increase the quality of the steam. Okay, they are using the superheaters. The superheaters also act as a recuperator. That one is okay, and condenser and surface speed heaters. Okay, surface speed heaters and condenser also as use as a recuperator. That is okay, of the steam power plant. That is milk chiller and a porcelain pie, which is used in the dairy. Okay, so milk chiller is also called as a recuperator. Certain is okay. Evaporator is also called as what is called as a recuperator. What is the difference between the regenerator and recuperator? Certain in the regenerator, they are using the a matrix. Okay, in the regenerator, they are using the matrix. So in between the hot fluid and cold fluid here. Understand? So, but in the recuperator, they are not using the what is called as a matrix here. Understand? In the recuperator, they are not using the matrix. Instead of, they are using the a solid wall or pipes or concentric pipes, that one is okay. So for the exchange of the heat, so that is called as a recuperator. So this is the difference, that one is. So I think he given the so here that one, what is the difference here, so you can go through that one. Then next one is here, uh, here that one is based on the what is called as recuperator. Here that one is the given the example here, the recuperator here, the cold or that one is the from the outside, the cold air from the outside, and here that one is copper heat exchanger. This is the bricks here, okay. This is the bricks we are given that one is then, so heated air, okay. So after heating that one is a heated air from the outside, heated air from the outside, that is removing of the warm air from the premises here, that is. This is the removing of the warm air from the premises. So in that cases, that one is the use as a recuperator. We draw the air from the premises. Okay. Can you tell me what is the example here? This one is. Yes. Anybody here? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you see that one is here? Screen.
Yeah, sir, you can see, sir.
Yes. What is the example? Can you identify the what is the example of this one? Hello, guys. Hello. Sakib, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yeah. What is the example of this one?
This is
Is it air condition, right?
air condition. Yeah, sir.
Yeah, air condition. This one is the air condition. Okay. We can call this one as a, because that one is it remove the air, hot air from the outside or inside. But if it is a hot air is there inside, we can call that one as a recuperator. Okay. So whatever that one is the air inside. Okay. So hot air, it will remove the hot air and to the outside environment. Okay. Means that one is heat transfer taking place in the air conditioner. That one is, that's we can call that one as a recuperator. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You understood what is the regenerator and the recuperators?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. We'll go next one. Then second thing is how they classified the heat exchanger here based on the relative directions of the fluid motion. Okay. So based on the relative direction of fluid motion, so we classified the heat exchanger. One is called as a parallel flow heat exchanger, another one is called as a counter flow heat exchanger, and another one is called as a cross flow heat exchanger. So this is the concentric tubes. Understand? This one is the inside. So tube that one is, this one is the outside. This is the concentric tube here. In the parallel flow, this is very important. Okay. So as per the syllabus purposes, and this is very important. What is the parallel flow heat exchanger? Okay. So parallel flow heat exchanger, the meaning of the parallel flow heat exchanger, the direction, you see that one is the heading here. So that is the heading is relative direction of the fluid motion. Understand? In the parallel flow heat exchanger, both the hot fluid and cold fluid, understand? Both the hot fluid and cold fluid flow in the same direction. Understand? This is called as a, what is called as a parallel flow heat exchanger. Understand? You see that one is the, this is the length of the heat exchanger. Okay. This is the edge, what is called as a concentric tubes here. Understand? So this is the inside tube and this one is called as the outside. So that one is the tube here, that is. So inside the fluid, okay, inside the tube, the hot fluid is flowing. Outside the fluid, okay, shell, or we can call it as a shell. Outside the tube, that is the cold fluid will be flowing, and both are in the same direction. Such type of heat exchanger are called as a parallel flow heat exchanger. The temperature here, the temperature, inlet temperature of the hot fluid is called as a THI, and outlet temperature of the hot fluid is called as a TH naught. The inside temperature of the cold fluid is called as a TCI, and outside temperature of the cold fluid is called as a TC naught here, that one is. Okay. If you draw the graph, see here, so as the length of the heat exchanger is increases. So this unit is called as a heat exchanger. As the length of the heat exchanger is increases, the temperature of the hot fluid is goes on decreases. I'm right? Yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it will transfer the heat from the hot fluid to the cold fluid. Understand? Okay. The energy getting from the energy getting by the cold fluid, energy delivered by the hot fluid. Understand? So there will be heat transfer from the hot fluid to the cold fluid. Cold fluid here. The whenever that is the length of the heat exchanger is increases, the temperature of the hot fluid is goes on decreases. Hence that one is here. So that one is the here temperature. Y-axis represents the temperature, and this one is the x-axis represents the what is called as the length of the tube, or we can call that one as the area of the heat exchanger. Okay, as the area of the heat exchanger or length of the heat exchanger is increases, the hot fluid temperature goes on decreases. That one is. And what about the cold fluid? Because of the cold fluid receiving the heat from the hot fluid. Understand? It receives the heat from the hot fluid. Here the temperature, initial temperature of the cold fluid is very less, and outlet temperature of the cold fluid is very high. Okay, very high. Hence, because it will heat transfer, it will acquire the heat from the hot fluid. Heat transfer taking place from the hot fluid to the cold fluid here. That's why the temperature of the cold fluid in the parallel flow heat exchanger goes on increases. Okay, goes on increases. That one is okay. So as the length of the heat exchanger, as the length of the heat exchanger increases, the temperature of the cold fluid, goes on increases. That one is because heat transfer from the hot fluid to the a cold fluid here. That is okay. This is the a parallel flow heat exchanger here. That is okay. So next case, that's a counter flow heat exchanger, just opposite to the parallel flow heat exchanger. Understand? So just opposite to the parallel flow heat exchanger. What is the meaning of the counter flow heat exchanger here? The hot fluid is flowing in one direction and cold fluid is flowing in the opposite direction. Okay. So this is called as a counter flow heat exchanger. The heat exchanger in which the both the fluid direction of the both the fluid, hot fluid and cold fluid, are in opposite, then such type of heat exchanger are called as a counter flow heat exchanger. Understand? Okay. If the one hot fluid is flowing in this direction, cold fluid is flowing in this direction, opposite direction, heat exchange will be taking place from hot fluid to cold fluid also. Okay. Then such type of heat exchanger are called as a counter flow heat exchanger. That is the graphical representation of this one is the what is called as the here they shown that one is whenever that one is hot fluid, so moving from high temperature to the low temperature, as the length of the heat exchanger is increases, the temperature of the hot fluid will be decreases. That one is. But here, as the length of the, so what is called as a heat exchanger or area, length or area of the heat exchanger increases. Understand? So the temperature, so direction, you can see the direction here. Okay, direction. One fluid is flowing in this direction and other fluid is flowing in the opposite direction in the counter flow. But here in this direction, both the fluid will be in the same direction. Okay, both the fluid will be in the same direction. Okay, but here in the what is called as in the counter flow, that one is the hot fluid is flowing in the one direction and cold fluid is flowing opposite direction to the hot fluid. That is, so this is the initial temperature of the cold fluid, and this is the final temperature of the TC naught is called as the outlet temperature of the cold fluid. That is, so the temperature of that one is the cold fluid will be increases. Understand? So it is a graphically representation. That one is okay. So here that one is the temperature of the as the length of the okay length of the heat exchanger. Okay, here why it is showing in this direction means that it is here the what is called as TC naught here. Understand TC naught here. So TCI is here because TCI is here. Understood? Okay. So TCI is very if it is a imagine if it's a TCI is called as a 20 degrees Celsius. Understand? Is a TCI is called as a 20 degrees Celsius that is then so whenever the heat transfer from the hot fluid to the cold fluid, the temperature goes on increases. Hence, that one is TC naught is greater than the TCI here. That is. But hot fluid, that one is the inlet temperature of the hot fluid here. Then that one is the high temperature. Whenever the heat transfer, okay, it loses the hot fluid, loses the heat. Hence, temperature is also decreases, and that one is the this is the inlet temperature of the hot fluid, and this is the outlet temperature of the hot fluid. That is the temperature of the hot fluid is goes on decreases. That one is okay. Is there any doubt here?
No, no, sir.
Yeah, then. So this is the counter flow heat exchanger here. That is. Next one is cross flow heat exchanger. Understand? Cross flow heat exchanger means that is both the fluids, hot fluid and cold fluid. So flow at right angles to each other. Okay, if the hot fluid is flowing in this direction and cold fluid is flowing in this direction, right angles to each other. So that is called as a cross flow heat exchanger. Okay, so many of the applications they are using that one is the cross flow heat exchanger. What is a cross flow heat exchanger? Okay, so I will explain here with the example here. That one is if the hot fluid is flowing in the pipe. So okay, if the hot fluid, water or any gases is flowing in the so the in the pipe that one is then so these are the tubes. Okay, but so that is the any cold okay any cold fluid which is flow around the tubes means that it is at right angles to the a tube. Inside the tube what is flowing that is the hot fluid is flowing. Okay, outside the so tube the cold fluid will be flowing which is right angles to the a fluid. So that is the tube. So that is called as a cross flow heat exchanger. That is. Suppose here they get one. So here under example here, this is the hot fluid inlet temperature inlet of the hot fluid, and this one is called as the hot fluid will be out. Okay, and here the cold fluid so inside and cold fluid will be outside. That means both are flowing in the right angles to each other. Okay, so okay, in that cases that type of heat exchanger are called as a cross flow heat exchanger. That one is okay. So for example, that is the cooling unit of refrigeration system. Okay, so is a best example of that is a cross flow heat exchanger. In the refrigeration system, you know that one is one fluid is flowing here and other one fluid is the cooling. Okay, cooling unit. So other fluid is flowing right angles to each other. Okay, in the industrial applications also the cross flow heat exchanger they are using that one. And automobile radiator. In the automobile radiator also called as a cross flow heat exchanger. In that automobile radiator, one fluid is okay. One fluid is flowing in the this direction, and on the other one fluid okay should be flow right angles to the so first one okay. If the hot water flowing in the this direction and cold fluid will be flowing right angles to the hot fluid flow. That is called as a cross flow heat exchanger. That is. But as per reverse syllabus, that is, we are so discussing only about the what is called as a parallel flow and what is called as a counter flow and what is the LMTD method for the parallel flow heat exchanger and LMTD method for the counter flow heat exchanger and also NTU method for parallel flow and counter flow heat exchanger. They may ask the question certain is understand then which one is the most efficient one? Okay, whether it is a parallel flow heat exchanger or efficient or counter flow heat exchanger is efficient. So as that one is the cross flow heat exchanger. as per now, that one is the para design and so manufacturing cursor, that one is the most of the research data, that one is the effectiveness of the counter flow heat exchange is the most, the more, that one is effectiveness of the counter flow heat exchanger is the more, because both the fluid flowing in the opposite direction, okay, then much heat transfer occurs in the counter flow heat exchanger, that one, okay. That's why they are preparing the a counter flow heat exchanger in almost all the industrial process, that one is, okay. So this is the things, that one is. Next one is next classification based on design and construction feature. What is the design and concern? Concentric tubes. So concentric tubes means certain is the, here is the one, that's a tube here. Around that other one the tube shell. Okay, we can call that one as the shell or hollow tube. Hollow tube. We can call it as a hollow tube. Inside the tube, this one is the one fluid is flowing, and the another space. Okay, and that fluid is the flowing. We can call that one as the a concentric tube. That one is okay. So that is called as a design and construction. So this is the concentric tubes is come under the design and construction feature. Specifically, it is designed for some other purposes. Understand? Okay. So concentric tube, what we discussed, that the counter flow and the parallel flow here, that is okay. So this come under that is the concentric tube heat exchangers. Understand? Okay. These examples, okay, these pictures, what I showed here, that means they are the concentric tube heat exchangers. What is a concentric tube heat exchangers? So that one is the one, that one is the shell, or that one is the, what is called as a hollow tubes. One inside the, so inside the tube, one fluid is flowing. The another space, which is between the, so that one is the hollow space. In that case, in that hollow space, that our one fluid is flowing, heat exchange from the hotter fluid to the colder fluid. Suppose that it is the hot fluid which is flowing inside the tube. Understand? Then around the enlarged spaces, okay. So the cold fluid is flowing. Then the heat transfer from the hot fluid to the a cold fluid will be taking place. So that is a such type of heat exchanger are called as a concentric tube heat exchanger, certain is. So that is the case of that one is the in the parallel flow heat exchanger. This is called as a parallel flow heat exchanger. This is called as a counter flow heat exchanger. So design and be, so this concentric tube heat exchanger based on the design and construction features, that one is. Next one is a design and construction based on the design and construction heat tube heat exchanger. One shell pass and two tube. Okay, this is called as the outer shell. Understand? So this is called as the outer shell here. Then these are called as the tubes here, that means, okay, one shell and tube heat exchangers. So I think in the Bunsen burner, so that's one is a boiler, okay. Babcock's and Wilcox boilers, you can saw that one is the tubes are inclined, and the other one is called as the furnace, in the furnace, certain is. So okay, so in that cases the heat will be, so that one is the whatever the gas will be flowing around the tubes, okay, across the baffle plates and tubes, certain is okay. So we can call that one is the shell and tube heat exchanger, that one is one shell pass and two tube pass heat exchanger. What is the shell and tube heat exchanger? Okay, here this complete part, this is called as a shell, okay. These are called as this is called as a shell here. So inside the shell there will be the tubes, okay. Inside the shell there will be a tube, certain is. This is called as a cold fluid outlet, and this one is called as a hot fluid outlet, and this one is called as a cold fluid in, and this one is called as a hot fluid in here, that one, okay. So here this is the shell, and this is, these are called as the Beppel plates. The purpose of the Beppel plates means that is for the effective heat transfer. For the effective heat transfer, that is okay. This is called as a cold fluid outlet here, that is okay. So here, whatever the hot fluid, okay, whatever the hot fluid which is moving into the tube, which is moving into the tube here, okay, which is moving into the tube here, okay. Here, hot fluid will be enter here, hot fluid will be enter, and hot fluid will be enter into the these tubes here. Again, it will be recirculate into the the above two tubes here, that one is. Understand? Then, if the cold fluid, okay, where is the cold fluid? Cold fluid, okay, cold fluid, okay, air. We can call that one as a cold fluid. Here is the air mentioned, which is moving around the tubes, which are that's a cold fluid, air. We can call that as the air. So moving around the tubes, and the Beppel place they are providing for the effective, okay, means that is the cold fluid circulate very effectively around the what is called as a tubes here. Okay, so for that one is effective heat transfer will be taking place certainly. For that purposes, they are providing the Beppel plates here that is okay. A cold fluid moving around the tubes across the Beppel plates, and it will be move out here that is okay. So this is called as the shell and tube heat exchangers that is okay. Then a shell and tube heat exchanger, two shell here that one is called as the one shell pass and two tube heat exchanger. Two tubes are here, okay, only one shell here, that one is, understand, that's why one shell pass and two tube heat exchangers here two shell, one the here this one is the one shell and this one is also one shell and four tube heat exchanger shell. So these are called as the so tubes, four tubes here, that one is, understand. Here you can show that one is the Beppel plates also occurs here, that is then shell fluid. Shell fluid will be flowing across the Beppel plates for effective heat transfer here. You can see here, and that one is the tube fluid. So that one is the fluid, which may be hot fluid or cold fluid, will be passing through the a tube here. Understand? Tube, and it will be moving like this. Okay, moving and it will be coming out here. Suppose the hot water is flowing into the tube, so it will be moved into the tube like this, sir. Again it will be retake turn here, and again it will be passed to the another shell, okay, another shell here, okay, and it will be come out like this one here, okay. So this is the separate shell and this one is the separate shell here, that one. Then in order to for effective cooling, this one is the other one fluid, okay. So it will be passed through the shell here, okay, across the tubes and vapor plates, and cooling will be take place effectively, that one is, okay. Heat will be transferred from hot fluid to the cold fluid. So this is the example of shell and tube heat exchanger. What type of shell? Two shell pass and four tubes. Here the one, two, three, four tubes here, and two shell, one shell and two shell, two pass here, that is, okay. So next one is multiple shell and tube heat exchanger. You can so you can use a multiple shell. Understand what we discussed, that one is a two shell and four tubes. Okay, this is the example of the multiple shell and two passes. Understand? So this we can use the multiple shell and we can use the multiple tubes for the heat exchanging process, that is for effective heat exchanger. Okay. Effective heat transfer. Okay, so this is the multiple shell and two heat. This is also based on the construction features. Okay, next one is compact heat exchangers. Okay, what is the meaning of the compact heat exchangers here? That one. Okay, here the plates here. So through this place there will be a pins. Through pin one fluid is flowing, and through the this one another fluid is flowing. A plate pin. We can call this one as a plate pin here. That is. So these are called as the a compact heat exchanger. That is. So there are special purpose of the heat exchanger, and have a very large surface area, large transfer heat transfer area. Pin. What is the purpose of the pin? So pin having a large surface area to transfer the heat. Understand? Okay. For that purposes, they attach the pin to the as any material that is. Suppose the IC engine is there. IC engine having a pins. Okay. Why? Because of the surface, to increase the surface area, the heat transfer is also increases certain is. Understand? So that is the case. Compact heat exchanger also having the pins, that is to increase the heat transfer, that is okay. Here plate pin, platen pin, tube heat exchanger. These are called as a pins here, that is okay. So flat tubes, we can call as a flat tubes or pins, that is. These are called as a plates here. So the through plates, this flat tubes will be fixed, that one is, and in plateau, one fluid is flowing, and so across the plateau through plates, another fluid is flowing. Hence, the heat exchange will be taking place. There are special purpose heat exchanger and a very large transfer surface area per unit volume of the heat exchanger. They are generally employed when the convective heat transfer coefficient associated with one of the fluid is much smaller than the associated with the other fluid. When the convective heat transfer is much smaller, in that cases they use the what is called as a compact heat exchanger. So example, they given that is the flat pin. So flatten in the so that is the flattened pin to heat exchanger. That one is okay. So here many of the example. So here that is the one fluid flowing. Okay. Here you see the below example. One fluid is flowing, and here the one fluid is the flowing here. That is understand. So in the x-axis, okay, in the middle here, one fluid is flowing, and this one, the other fluid will be flowing. That is okay. Right angles to each other. You can. This one is also called as a cross flow heat exchanger, but it is in a compact. Okay, compact means certain is the very small equipment. Means certain is a larger surface area to exchange heat here. That means okay. So hence it is called also called as a cross flow heat exchanger, and one fluid is flowing in the extraction, another fluid is flowing in the right angles to each other. Such type of heat exchanger are called as a compact heat exchanger here. Okay, then based on the physical state of the fluid, condenser and evaporator. Okay, condenser, evaporator are based on the what is called as a physical state. In the evaporator, why it is called as based on the physical state of the fluids? Means in the evaporator, what is the physical state of the evaporator? Vapor. Understand? Vapor is the physical state. But in the condenser, so that is called as a liquid. Understand? Vapor is converted into the liquid. Whenever the any fluid which is passes to the condenser, that is called as a liquid. When that is in the but in the evaporator, that is called as a what is called as a vapor. That is understand. What type of fluid is flowing inside the heat exchanger? Whether it is a vapor or it is a liquid. So that is the state of the fluid. Okay. So that is called as a condenser and evaporator are classified based on the state of the fluid. Okay. So these are the physical state of the based on the physical state of the fluids. Condenser and evaporators are classified. Okay. So right now, that's one is if any questions that is the classification of the heat exchanger, you can ask that one is in the next classes we'll discuss.